What's the biggest lie you've ever told that completely blew up in your face? Back in 9th grade, I hadn't done my homework for an entire week. My teacher, Mrs. Westgate, was notorious for her strict no excuses policy. So when she called me out in front of the class, I panicked and blurted out the first excuse that popped into my head. I claimed my grandma had passed away. The classroom fell silent, and Mrs. Westgate's expression softened immediately. "I'm so sorry to hear that," she said. "Why didn't you let us know sooner?" I shrugged, trying to feign sadness while avoiding her gaze. She ended up giving me an extension on all my assignments, and even allowed me to skip the test that day. I thought I had gotten away with it, until 2 weeks later, when our school held a Grandparents' Day event. Students were encouraged to bring their grandparents for lunch and a tour. My family never participated in such events, so I didn't think twice about it. But as I walked down the hall, I heard a familiar voice call out, "Sweetie, there you are." I turned to see my grandma. My mom had convinced her to come at the last minute. Before I could even process the situation, Mrs. Westgate walked by and froze, looking between me and my grandma in disbelief. "This is your grandma?" Her tone filled with confusion. I stammered, well, yeah." My grandma, being her sweet self, chimed in, "Oh, it's so nice to meet one of his teachers. His mom told me how hard he's been working on his homework." I could see Mrs. Westgate's eyes narrow, and I knew I was in deep trouble. The next day, she called me into her office and asked if I wanted to explain what had happened. I confessed everything. She gave me detention for lying and made me redo every single assignment